What is up, guys? Tommy from SFJ Jeeping here, taking advantage that I'm not in the Jeep because I need the truck to run a couple errands, and taking a video inside a vehicle that's not incredibly noisy. So, today I'm going to talk about what you need to run 37s on a Jeep JK. Now, I know a lot of people in 35s want to watch this because, well, you probably parked or pulled up next to a Jeep on 37. Jeez, the sun is blinding. And it's not fun being the smaller Jeep. Everyone wants to step up to that bigger tire size. Heck, even me that I'm on 37s right now, I've been thinking about stepping up to 40s. But what do you need to run 37s? And you really need a lot of things. It really depends. What you need will depend a lot on what axle size you're running. Now, there's some stuff that you'll need for either, but a lot of the core stuff, especially if you're off-roading, will depend on the axle size. On this video, I'm going to focus more on the Dana 30/35 and the Dana 44, because honestly, if you're running a Dana 60, your plan is not to run 37s. So, the first thing that is really, it doesn't depend on what axle size you run. It'll be the exact same thing if you run a Dana 30 or a Dana 44. Carrier size will be a little different, obviously, but gearing, I cannot stress how important gearing is when you want to step up to a larger tire size. Now, my personal opinion, if for a good city/hybrid/trailer rig, like good hybrid of city, highway, and trail use, the 4:88 gear ratio for a Dana 37 is perfect. I've driven a couple Jeeps to that ratio, and it's a good all-around gear ratio to do everything you'd want to do and run 37s. Now, many of you know I don't run 48s on mine. I run 513s. Now, I run 513s for two reasons. One, I have a manual transmission and I really like to have all the gear ratio options possible. Two, I live in a small village in west of any major city by half an hour, and I don't really drive on highway a whole lot, so I don't really need it to go 75 a whole lot. And three, I know that I'll eventually step up to a 40-inch tire. But to be honest, for the average person, 513s is a little bit aggressive for 37s. Now, for a while, I drove around with 410s and 37s, and it wasn't bad, to be honest with you. 410s, if you don't mind it being a little sluggish, you can get away with 410s and 37s. Off-road, now keep in mind, this coming from a Rubicon perspective with the 4:1 transfer case, off-road and low range, there was no issue. There was no issue at all, because I had the 4:1 transfer case. But I can imagine off-road with I believe it's a 2.7, I'll probably correct myself on the screen, but I believe it's a 2.7 to 1 that's in the non-Rubicons. There I may see a little bit of struggle, but 410s and 37s wasn't the end of the world. Any less, I know some people have run them with 373s and they've been happy with stuff like a pedal commander and such, but I'm not sure. I honestly, I didn't enjoy driving the Jeep with 410s and 37s. I can't imagine 373s. Any less, re-gear. Spend the money, re-gear. Now, the next thing, suspension. A lot of people will say you need this amount of lift for 37s. You need that amount of lift for 37s. It's really more complicated than just the lift. It's a combination of lift, offset, and bump stops. That's essentially, and fenders. That's essentially what it comes down to. With proper bump stop, proper offset, and flat fenders or metal cloak overline fenders, you can run 37s with no lift. Will it be practical? No. Will it flex a lot? No. But there are people who run 37s with no lift. Auto Edit, big YouTuber. He ran that setup for a long time. Personally, the ideal setup for 37s, properly bump stop 2.5. You can easily clear 2.5 with 37s. You can get away with not doing a dragling flip. It's a lot easier on your steering, less body roll, and it'll still flex like crazy, but you gotta properly bump stop it, and you want to run some aftermarket fenders. Now, what I run is a 3.5. If you have a 4-door, 3.5 and 37s is fantastic. I love that setup. 3.5, 37s, 4-door. For a 2-door, it's a little tall. For 37s, I find the 3.5 too tall. But I haven't changed my bump stops. I'm still on my stock bump stops. I did trim my fenders. and it flexes like crazy. I can stack all the way on a 40-inch tall tire. Those 37s have tons of room with a 3.5-inch lift. Now, but again, that goes back to I eventually plan on running 40s. If I didn't plan on running 40s, I wouldn't do a 3.5-inch lift with 37s. I'd stick with a 2.5. Way better setup for maybe like a 3-inch. Like I know Evo offers a great 3-inch option. I personally run rock crawler, but Evo makes a great 3-inch option that rock crawler doesn't make. Now, proper offset is really, really important. Even on a 3.5, which I find super tall for 37s, I had to space out my wheels a little more. I thought I was just going to be fine going to some 0 offset wheels, but even those rug. So I'm running 0 offset wheels with a 1.5-inch G2 spacer. I ran no spacer with the 0 offset wheels, and I couldn't park in a parking garage because at full lock it would rub like crazy. You will have to pretty much for whatever setup you do. This goes into if you're going to off-road it, if you're going to disconnect the sway bars and actually flex the suspension. You're going to have to trim your fenders. It's just, unless you bump stop it like crazy, you're going to want to trim your fenders for 37s or run flat fenders. Me with my 3.5, which again tall, I was running stop bump stops. Off-road, I was stuffing the tire into the fender. And any sort of bump, it'd rub on the back bumper. That's why for a while I was running no rear bumper until I could get the VKS Enforcer that I have now. Yeah, clearance, pinch seam, you got to trim your pinch seam if you want to run 37s. Now, some of the things that people don't want to do because it doesn't look cool, but you kind of have to do depending on your style. If you run a Dana 30, more so. Next is axle armor. Dana 44, if you don't drive like a maniac, that Dana 44 will handle the 37s. I've done plenty difficult trails.
Please say a command.
Shut up. I've done plenty difficult trails with the Dana 44 and the 37s, and I have been fine. I have gone up rocks, I've done rock gardens, I've done faster stuff, and my Dana 44 has held up. Will I run that setup forever? No. I will truss and gusset it. But if you're running a Dana 30 especially, you really want to truss and gusset your axle. Any sort of bump and you will bend the C's. Truss, gussets, you can do a sleeve, but it's a lot of fabrication, and if you're running shafts, truss and gussets, you don't really need to do it. Me personally, after all said and done, I'll probably just do truss, gussets, and axle shafts. Strengthen the axle a little bit just because eventually I want to run 40s. But if I were going to stay with 37s, honestly, I would just gusset it and be done. Because the 44s do a pretty good job of handling it. Now, Dana 30, definitely. Dana 44, if you're going to wheel it hard, you do want to strengthen it. And also, I live on the East Coast where there's not a whole lot of high traction areas, so I don't really have to worry about axle shafts as much. But if I lived on the West Coast where there's more rocks, more high traction areas, I'd probably want to upgrade my axle shafts as well. I do know people who have snapped them even with 35s on the Dana 30. And that's in Florida, but just we have some shelly rock here that shows up in a couple areas that will destroy your shafts. But shafts, definitely for 37s and Dana 30 if you're going to wheel it. Next is ball joints. You definitely want to upgrade your ball joints. I'm still on my stock ball joints. My Jeep is 25,000 miles. I've been on 37s for the last 10, and my ball joints are shot. Like, I need ball joints very, very soon. I'm starting to get, like, when my stabilizer fell off at Jeep Haverfest, I had a bad death wobble. Like, it was scary. And I still get a little bit of wobble with those. So ball joints are coming very soon. You don't want to run 37s on the stock ball joints for too long. You really got to stay on top of that. I'm trying to maneuver around traffic here. Depending on your lift, steering, if you're running a 3.5-inch lift, you will want to do a drag link flip, which I haven't done, but I do plan on it. But, I mean, honestly, that just about sums it up. Now, keep in mind, I'm focusing mostly on the JK. I know the JL has stronger axles. I'm sure you guys have seen Bob, unofficial Bob, him bouncing around on 40s with his stock Dana 44. But I'm talking, this video is mostly JK Dana 30, 35, 44. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've done. Throughout the video, I'll put up pics of my personal setup so you can see what the 3.5 with 37s on two-door looks like and see if that's something you want to run. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for a CJ8 video coming soon. YouTube people haven't seen that project, but that's coming soon. Make sure to check out the Instagram at SoFlow_JK. And little plug here. Gear America, awesome recovery company. 10% goes to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. And if you use the code SoFlowJK, you get an extra 10% on top of the 10% they give to St. Jude off of it. So do that. I'll put the code in the description for you guys. That's pretty much exclusive. That code is exclusively for my followers, my subscribers. So go check them out. Awesome recovery for a good cause. Thanks for watching. See ya.